comfortable accommodation. And so far, in terms of really nourishment, I would like to tell you, as I said earlier on, there's this principle of 1+4, which means the host country is only obliged to provide food, lodging, and transportation for one principal plus 4 others. But as I always say, in line with our trademark hospitality, we are feeding every delegate that comes into this country. Some delegations are big, some are well over 20, some over 30, but we manage, at least we're providing comfort, nutrition, and transportation for all of them. As we indicated to you, this is a 6-day program. The first 2 days, which was yesterday and the day before, are dedicated to senior officers meeting. And this is the technical kind of group that does all the paperwork. They do all the discussions. They come up with resolutions. It's still work in progress. I cannot tell you at this point some of the details, because yesterday they were in session up to 5 a.m. And they had to adjourn to be able to come back and make conclusions that will be propounded to the ministers. So I just want to state upfront that I cannot tell you, we cannot reveal anything as far as their discussions are concerned. This evening, because they stayed here very late, they closed about 5 a.m. in the morning. Today's opening ceremony of the Council of Ministers had to be pushed to 5 p.m. this evening. So I cannot also confirm when that meeting will end. It could go into the wee hours of the next day. So today and tomorrow are dedicated to the ministers' meeting. And then the day after is when the heads of state would convene to, so it's like a progression. The technical people meet, they argue, they cut the T's, dot the I's, disagree to agree, and they come up with a consensus document, which is recommended to the Council of Ministers. They also look at it, and they then recommend to the for final ratification. So that's the process. So as I said, everything seems to be going on very well. Our delegates are all upbeat. They are conducting their meetings in comfort, and we look forward to a continuation in that kind of atmosphere. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, CEO. I appreciate those comments. And to add on to what he says about regarding the logistics, I think everybody that's been inside the center can see what is in place for the summit and believe that Gambia is ready to host this summit. As he said, the meetings have begun already, and delegates that have been coming in, we've been hearing remarks from them that they were actually happily surprised to see the state of the center as it is and the resources that we've been deployed, whether it's for their accommodations, transportation, inside the conference center and eating. So seeing is believing. A lot of people didn't think we'd actually get to this point, but alhamdulillah, here we are. And on that note, I'd like to ask His Excellency, the Minister of Information, to make a few remarks, please. Excellency.
Thank you very much. Am I audible now? Yes. Thank you. I think I'll just have to buttress on what the CEO has said, that everything is in place. Logistics-wise, the heads of the different governments will start coming in tomorrow, Friday. Foreign ministers are already in town, and what is important is that there's 100% representation. It means that all OIC member states are represented in the Banjul Summit. Now, the preparatory phase is going on. The senior government officials met in the past 2 days, coming up with resolutions, preparing the communique and the declaration, the final declaration, on issues ranging from the Palestine-Israel conflict, issues on women, youth, and other issues affecting the Muslim world. So we cannot go into those details because those things have to go to the Ministerial Council. Tomorrow is Thursday, huh? No, today and tomorrow. And the heads of states and governments will, on Saturday, they'll make the final communique and the final declaration. Logistics-wise, I think everything is in place, from protocol to security to accommodation to vehicles. Everything is in place to pick up the other delegates at the airport. Media-wise, coverage is good. We are set. So far, so good. The event is a success. So far, so good. Let's keep fingers crossed that it will continue like this. But we have no doubt that it will continue like this, and come Sunday, May 5th, when the event is over, we can boldly declare that it is a success. What is important is that everything so far is in place. 57 member states are represented, logistics 100%, security 100%, protocol 100%. Administrative bit has been going on for the past 2 days without any issues. So as we speak, there are no glitches, there are no problems. And yes, so I'll let Mfali to now give us an update of what is happening. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. We appreciate that. Let's go straight to Mr. Fodera, who will give you the update regarding the issues surrounding the summit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson, Honorable Minister, CEO. With your permission, good afternoon to all of you. My name is Mfali Fodera. Really, when you have your boss speak, you don't have much to say, and I think the Honorable Minister has also eloquently expressed the sentiment of the Secretariat and the government as a whole. From our point of view, it's been 2 days, but a very successful 2 days indeed. And, you know, a testament to that is the interactions that you have with the delegates, all of them, really. From their own mouth, the Gambia has exceeded their expectation in terms of the logistics, in terms of the meeting facilities, the organization, the planning, etc., etc. So for us, we've seen this opportunity. Some see it as a challenge, where some see challenges, we see as an opportunity to serve the Gambia to the world. That is our commitment, that is our vision, and that is what we've been working towards. So far, in terms of the confirmations, just like the Minister said, 100% confirmation from member countries. Precisely, we have well over 40 VVIPs and VIPs coming to the summit. And this includes presidents, it includes prime ministers, it includes vice presidents, you know, deputy prime ministers across the board. So we are really, really thrilled and excited as a country, and we are looking forward to the opportunity to showcase the best of Gambia. We want to present the best of Gambia, Gambian hospitality that we are known for globally. So as a country, they are our guests. So our message to all and sundry is to come out and give a befitting, you know, welcome and reception in line with our trademark tradition as the Smiling Coast of Africa. Let's come out. It's a moment of pride for the Gambia. Nobody should be left behind, even if it means, you know, just waving your flag at them. They are our guests. We should make them feel at home and then have a great time in the Gambia. So with that said, I think, Mr. Chairman, it's about time that we invite questions from the press, and then, you know, we don't endeavor to keep you here, you know, so I know you guys are busy as well. So maybe I will hand over to you, and then you can moderate the next phase of the press conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Fodera. Thank you, Mr. Fodera. Appreciate your comments. And just before we get to the questions, just remember, this project has been at least 5 years in the making to get to this point. So a lot of what we're seeing now is the final ramp up to making it happen. But behind the scenes, there's been a lot of work, a lot of talking going on. And His Excellency the President has been extremely supportive of the whole process throughout this. I'm sure Ambassador Dibba and his team will tell you that. So for us, it's a moment of pride, and Gambians should be really proud that here we are. Who could think a small country like Gambia could have an OIC summit, a conference, a summit which is second only to the UNGA, and it's happening in the Gambia, and we're making it happen. So alhamdulillah, let us all have that sense of pride, and let us all carry that positivity with us. On that note, we'd like to invite some questions from the press. Please, we have a microphone over there, so if you can put up your hand, and then when you speak, please give us your name and the media house you're from. Thank you. Questions? Please stand up so we can see you. Maybe you can talk. Maybe we can hear you anyway. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Sangule.
Thank you very much, Sangule. We have a very significant number, just like I said, just as you know. The movements of heads of state, you know, is subject to changes. We are seeing additions, but we are also seeing numbers coming down. So for now, we have about, just like the minister said rightfully, we still have about 48 hours, 72 hours to go. And we cannot confirm exactly the number, but just like I said, more than 40 VVIPs and VIPs, prime ministers, presidents, deputy prime ministers, vice presidents have confirmed. But as we inch closer, certainly, and we will be able to make these concrete assurances, and in some cases where we determine the need to do so, even mention the countries. But as you also know, due to the prevailing global peace and security condition around the world, we cannot also kind of divulge some of this specific information as to the movements of heads of state and VIPs. So, but that being the case, I can assure you, you can tell your editor safely that definitely we are indeed expecting, quite a number of VVIPs. Thank you.
And
yeah, go ahead.
Is it on? Can be very fluid. And I think we've learned from that in the past couple of days. In our last press conference, we announced that Erdogan was coming because it was confirmed he was coming. And then later it changed because of domestic issues that are so important, he must attend to them, and he could not come. What we are trying to avoid is to tell you that X, Y, Z is coming, and then tomorrow something happens and they cannot come. So we are trying to be very careful with revealing who is coming. It has also security implications. Some of them don't want to announce that they are coming now so we are waiting until we've confirmed that they've really taken off from their respective destinations before we can be sure that they are coming. So for now, what we can give is a global figure that we are expecting, but like he said, this can change, it can increase, it can decrease.
thank you, Honorable. And also, let us remember, the success of a summit is not dependent on how many heads of state arrive. It's the representation. And as Mr. Federa said, we're going to have 100% representation. So if it's not a head of state, if it's a foreign minister or deputy prime, that is a head of state basically representing that country. So that is a success of the thing. Next question, please. That's it? Anybody?
The schedule for bilateral meetings are, for lack of a better word, or just like the name suggests, are bilateral arrangements between two countries. Usually they are held in closed sessions. I'm not sure I understand your question well, but we are not really very much privy to the bilateral arrangements that take place between countries. But I know as far as the sessions are concerned, the preparatory ministerial meetings, as well as the senior official meetings, are out of bounds for the media, except for the opening. So I don't know whether that truly addresses your question, but in terms of the program, we are not able to make that public. But what we can definitely make public, and I'm happy to share it with you, is the program for the summit itself, the work program and the agenda. We can make that available. Then you will be able to know how the day will look like and the lineup of speakers for the summit itself. Yes. Mm-hmm. The foreign ministers. Yes. So what happens is the foreign ministers meeting as well as the senior officers meeting are all preparatory. So up until the outcomes are debated and agreed upon at the summit, definitely there will be no press conference officially from the OIC General Secretariat. So there is a press conference scheduled, but it's not happening tomorrow. It is happening on Thursday, on the last day of the event itself. Sunday. So once we confirm the time and the venue, most definitely our proactive media chairperson and his team will definitely communicate that and will facilitate your attendance.
May I add on to both of your questions? Bilaterals, like I've just received a request from one country that when their head of state comes, for us to film that, and then that will be shared. Yesterday, there was a bilateral that happened between Qatar and the Gambia, and we filmed that, and that footage is shared. We have official videographers. Obviously, it's restricted for outside media to go in there, but official media can. It will not happen all the time, but when it does happen, be rest assured we will share that with the media when we can. And going towards you, all like the senior officials meeting, the foreign ministers meeting, all that work is leading up to the plenary on Saturday, as Mr. Federa said. So it's very unlikely no information will come out of that until it becomes public on Sunday, inshallah.
If I may, just to supplement what the last two speakers said, yes, there are bilaterals happening, but in our logistics and administrative announcements, we've told member states that they can indicate by applying. We know when you have such meetings, there's always the opportunity and potential that countries, find it, very convenient. Instead of paying fares, traveling all the way, if you meet your colleagues, it's good to have certain bilateral discussions. And these are going to happen, as he quoted Qatar. I did one yesterday. We have some already who have indicated, and we'll be making provision for that. So, but these are not the significance that the spotlight should be on the presidents. This is why we have no side events, because it's a summit of heads of state. At the on the fringes they can meet, discuss bilateral issues, but those are, as the name implies, they are bilateral. They are not really summit-oriented, but we have made room for that. And some countries have indicated their willingness to meet. So, but as and when they prefer, we will let you know, and then you can come in and then talk to them or collect your stories. Yeah.
If you have, if you have any particular requests to interview any delegation, just make it known to the media chairperson, and they will facilitate internally. If approval is granted, definitely that should not be a problem. Yes.
The necessary arrangements. We know already some of you have indicated your desire to talk to some of us, and we are available through mutual arrangements. That should be.
Also, before Sankore comes, again, adding on to what CEO said, if any media has requests to interview dignitaries, we cannot accommodate everybody, but we'll do our level best. We'll go all out to do what we can as a media team to assist you in the process.
Just one more question from me, sir. Of course, so many people are looking forward to the heads of state meeting on Saturday. I just want to know if it's going to be an opening ceremony wherein they will be making speeches just like the ministerial.
Exactly. There will be
The lineup of speakers. Mr. Federa has indicated that he will share this thing. I guess the work program is no longer secret. We'll be having the usual, opening ceremonies, after which statements will be given, but they come in an order of presidents, heads of governments, ministers, and so on and so forth. Yeah, there will be.
And to add on to that, anything happening inside the plenary hall, the opening ceremonies, all of that will be streamed. It will be made available in the media center outside, and also from the official photographers and videographers, so you'll have access to all of that information. Because obviously space is at a premium, and it's limited how many we can take into these places, but we want to make sure that everybody has the content that they need afterwards.
Fantasy say OIC in-house media. My question is, it was made mention that a lot of the discussions made cannot be made preview to the public. At the end of the summit, when the heads of states have decided and have their hands on all the conversation, would there be some sort of announcement of agreements made here in Gambia before they leave?
Yes, absolutely. There is going to be what is called a Banjul Declaration, and this will be read out to the public. And then I think there's a press conference also where the incoming chair would oblige some to answer some of your questions. Yeah.
And also to add on to what CEO said, the Gambia has started taking over chairmanship of various arms of the OIC already, leading up to the one on Saturday when His Excellency takes over that chair. So a lot of the things will be happening. And again, as information comes, we'll share that with you. Any more questions?
for the next 3 years, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry for Foreign Affairs, becomes the chair of the senior officers of the OIC. And then our foreign minister becomes the chair of the foreign ministers meeting, summit. So the actual summit will be chaired by the president, or high-level meetings, because the summit is every 36 months. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Everybody okay? We thank you very much for coming. Oh, okay, one more, no problem.
By the way, I am Modu El Baji from the Star TV. My question is, how prepared is the Gambia in taking up the mantle of leadership of the OIC?
In a direct answer to your question, summits like these have what is called a theme. And already you know our theme. Themes are created, they are an intrinsic kind of expression of the roadmap. So if you look at our theme, Gambia has clearly indicated the way we want the OIC to take in the next 3 years. And the next level, of course, would be, as a country, we will come together and then create strategic goals. Arising from the goals, we will have our immediate objectives, and we'll have an implementation plan and a way of checking the deliverables, whether the goals that we have set ourselves are on course or not. So I can assure you, we had a deliberate kind of, we took a deliberate position to create that theme. And we want Gambia to make a difference in terms of charting the way forward for the OIC. Gambia is not solo in this process. We are acting on behalf of the Africa region. And during our consultations prior to this, member states have expressed the opinion, they've confided in us and shared with us some of the objectives that they would like to see, happen. But of course, there's the issue of subsidiarity in this. As we always say, we are not organizing, we are hosting. But as host, you are in the driving seat. So the rest of the organization will follow you, as far as possible, as long as it is in line with the strategic goals of the organization. You will have the support of member states.
Thank you, CEO. Okay, this is going to be the last one, please.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Muna Jala, the publisher of the Africa Agenda magazine. Basically, we've done a publication on the Gambia OIC Summit and the Gambia potentials, hidden potentials in investment potential and tourism. So we've just received the copies, and we decided to allocate 57 copies to OIC so they can give it to the 57 member state and support to showcase the Gambia in the best positive light. So how do we go about this? Because we've got 2 days to go, and unfortunately, CEO is extremely busy, so we couldn't get hold of him. So yeah, my question is, how do we go about this to give you the 57 copies so you can give it to your member state countries?
Thank you very much. I think how it is going to be done, I would leave that to the brand and communication manager. But I just want to seize this opportunity to commend you for that initiative. And it's collective business. There's so much we can do. But if collectively we all bring in our efforts, we can really market our country in the best form possible. The whole objective for us is, among others, to make sure we are able to attract inward investment to this country. We come from a very privileged membership organization. Perhaps if you look at the world's resources in terms of financial resources, you will find most of the resources have their origin in the Ummah. So we should not take all the time on political issues. But I believe at the root cause of most of the political issues confronting the Ummah are socio-economic issues. And if we can use our chairmanship to address those socio-economic issues, we would have succeeded in addressing the problems plaguing the Ummah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your questions. I think we've had, time is limited. Yeah, I just want to add on to what the CEO said. This is a great opportunity for Gambians to promote brand Gambia. People are coming to see what we have here. People that have maybe have only kind of heard of this country, but they're coming to see what we can actually do here. So let's, all put our best foot forward as we've been doing and just keep going and promote it. But I would like to give the last word to Mr. Federa, Head of Brand and Communications, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tunkara. I just want to buttress CEO's point in relation to Gambia's vision for the next 3 years for the OIC. As a country, we are looking at this as a huge opportunity. It's a moment of great pride and excitement for the Gambia because, just like CEO rightly said, Gambia will be in the chairmanship of the organization, and whenever anything happens in relation to the organization, the world will look towards us, to us. And as a country, we are ready for that task. We are ready to rise to that occasion and make sure we lead the organization in a responsible manner. But at the same time, we also want to showcase the best version of the Gambia. So everybody should gear up and know that the next 3 years will witness a lot of OIC movements in the Gambia in the form of exhibitions. The OIC is huge, and it deals in a lot of things, they're in science and technology, in trade and investment, banking and finance, development financing, etc. The Gambia will be in the forefront. We will not be at the backstage of that. So let us all come together, just like the young lady has done, pushing from behind, supporting. Anybody that is out there that is interested in the things that the OIC is, in fact, I'm sure CEO would, at a more opportune time, come to indicate that we will, in fact, have a national conference on how to approach the Gambia's next 3 years to involve everybody and make sure no one is left behind, from the private sector, the public sector, the CSOs, everybody. So as a country, we see this as a huge, huge opportunity, a great moment of hope for the country, and we'll make sure together we do it just like we have done this great summit. So back to you, Mr. Chairperson.
Thank you very much, and it's great to end this press conference with such stirring and visionary remarks. Well, we asked a question. Okay, go ahead, please. Nobody left out.
Thank you so much. This will be great. So, my name is Aliou Diallo from the FATU network. Basically, my question is, we understand that we have a lot of guests that will be coming, and then we understand there were plans to have some planes parked in Dakar. We wanted to understand how many planes would be parked in the Gambia and what are some of the financial implications it will have on the Gambia. Thank you.
At the airport to park the planes that are going to bring our guests into town. Now we are seeing that depending on the wings, the size of the wings of the planes, if it did occur that there is not enough parking space for the planes that will bring the guests, if that is a contingency, we'll take some to be parked in Senegal at the Yoff International Airport. Now this part of the bilateral between Gambia and Senegal, and it comes at no cost to the Gambia. It's for free. But it might not happen. We might find a situation where there is enough parking at the airport that all the planes that are coming will be able to park there. We might not need to go to Senegal. But if it happens that there is not enough space and there are more planes than we expected, and there's a leftover that cannot park at the airport, they'll go and park in Senegal and wait for their guests. Does that answer your question?
And on that note, Mr. Chairman, if you allow me, there is no guest coming to this summit that is being hosted outside of the Gambia. All the guests coming will be housed and accommodated here. I want that to be extremely clear. So just like Doctor said, it's just a contingency plan. When you plan for eventualities, and that's what we did. So, I just thought to, make that point.
Well, the analogy is you have a family, you have your home, prosperity comes, you have a car, your wife has a car, your daughter has a car, you go to your neighbor and say, my space is tight. So there's nothing wrong with that. So it's nothing.
Well said, CEO, and thank you, Mr. Federa, as well for that point regarding the accommodation, because our accommodation subcommittee has worked tirelessly to ensure that everybody is housed here and comfortably to their standard. So on that note, we thank you all for coming. We will alert you if there's any further media conferences. We're looking to do more over the next few days. So as information comes, we want to make it very clear and transparent to everybody. Thank you very much for coming.